In today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to apply for a joint VA loan when one applicant is a veteran and the other applicant is not a veteran. This is a unique but very powerful way to use your VA home loan benefit if you understand how it works. And here's what you're going to learn in this video, so stick with me. What a joint VA loan is and who qualifies. And the difference between a joint VA loan and a traditional VA loan with a spouse. How to apply for a joint VA loan step by step. And the risks and benefits of doing a joint VA loan with a non-veteran. And what lenders don't always tell you about entitlement, income, and ownership structure. And 3 smart action steps you can take today to move forward. Hi, I'm Alex Ramirez, and I help military veterans and active service members and surviving spouses navigate the mortgage process with confidence. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that bell so you don't miss any of my videos in the future. I do weekly updates. Okay, so now let's dive in. What is a joint VA loan? A joint VA loan allows a military veteran to buy a home with a non-veteran co-borrower who is not their spouse. That could be a fiance, a partner, a sibling, or even a really good friend. Now, this is different from a standard VA loan with a spouse. When you use your benefit with the spouse, the VA backs the entire loan. But with a non-spouse, a non-veteran co-borrower, the VA will only guarantee the veteran's portion of the loan, usually 50%. And I'll get into the details about this in a minute. That means the lender takes more risk for the non-veteran's half, and it may affect how much you can borrow or what down payment may be required. Although you can purchase a home with 0 down payment using your VA loan, a joint VA loan is a little different and will require a down payment. So now, who qualifies for a joint VA loan? To qualify for a joint VA loan, you must meet the basic VA eligibility requirements as the veteran. Your co-borrower does not need to be a veteran, but must qualify on credit and income. And remember, the home must be your primary residence and both parties will be listed on the mortgage and the title of the property. If your co-borrower is not your spouse, the VA only guarantees your portion as a veteran. And if you're not sure if your situation qualifies for a joint VA loan, send me a text. My number is going to be right here, 805-857-3708, or go to my description and go to my Calendly and set up a discovery call. We can go through all the details to see if your situation will qualify for a joint VA loan or maybe just a regular VA loan. How does a joint VA loan work? Okay, here's how it works. 1, you apply together as co-borrowers. And number 2, the lender underwrites each borrower separately for credit, income, and debt. So they're going to look at the financial situation for both borrowers. And number 3, the VA guarantees only the veteran's half of the loan. Now, I'm going to get into more detail later on in this video. And number 4, a down payment will be required to offset the non-veteran's guaranteed portion. And in most cases, if you're buying a home together and splitting ownership 50-50, the VA will only back 50% of the loan amount. That means the lender will require a down payment of equal to 12.5% of the loan to meet VA guidelines. But here's the good news. This structure can allow you to qualify for more home than the veteran alone could afford. And let's assume in this scenario that the veteran has full VA loan entitlement available. The VA guarantees 25% of the purchase price of the home when it's 100% financing, when it's a veteran-only loan. But since the veteran is 50% owner, the VA will require a down payment of 12.5% of the purchase price to guarantee the loan. Our veteran in this scenario does not need to put a down payment, but the non-veteran does. So the difference of the other 12.5% has to be a down payment from the non-veteran. Now, between the veteran's VA entitlement of 12.5% and the non-veteran's 12.5% down payment, this brings us to the 25% number we need to be at for this scenario on a VA loan. And let me break it down a little bit more with some numbers. So the veteran and non-veteran purchasing a $300,000 home, the veteran has 0 down payment, so no money down. The non-veteran, $37,500 down payment. That's 12.5% of the purchase price in this scenario. And why would someone buy a home with a non-veteran, and how is this even beneficial? A joint VA loan can make perfect sense when a veteran wants to buy a home with somebody who isn't a spouse or another veteran like a partner. A joint VA loan can make perfect sense when a veteran wants to buy a house with a non-veteran to someone that's really close to them, like a fiance, a family member, or maybe the only way they can get into the house if they have the non-veteran co-borrower. It allows both incomes to be used to qualify for a higher purchase price, giving you more buying power. This can be especially helpful in high-cost markets or when one person has stronger income or credit. While it does require extra underwriting, Some lenders don't offer it. A joint VA loan can be a powerful solution for veterans looking to buy a home with someone important in their life. And there are many benefits. Rates are much more competitive with the VA loan. There's no PMI, and this can save you hundreds a month or thousands of dollars a year. And the guidelines for VA loans are much more lenient than all other programs. A joint VA loan has an additional step when it comes to underwriting, and I'm going to get into that in a second right here. And once your loan is approved by the lender, the file is then sent to the VA Regional Loan Center for the final review. Typically at this point, once the lender who is reviewing your loan and approves it, they're pretty much sending it to the VA essentially just to get their blessing. And remember, not all VA loans work this way and go through this process. Only joint VA loans require the VA's final review. This review process is relatively fast. It only takes a couple of days. No need to worry about the long delays. The VA Regional Loan Center is relatively quick when it comes to getting that final approval. And if you're wondering whether a joint VA loan would allow you to afford more home, let's talk. Message me, send me a text, 805-857-3708, or go to my description and set up a discovery call, and we can go over all the details and see what you qualify for. And let's go over what documentation you're going to need. So the veteran will likely need the VA certificate of eligibility, and your loan officer can request this directly from the VA, and also maybe your DD-214 if you're separated, and proof of service if you're currently active. Here's what both parties will need for the process: pay stubs and W-2s or tax returns, and your loan officer will run credit for both borrowers, and proof of assets like 2 months bank statements and identification as well. Everything goes through full underwriting to confirm income, assets, and property eligibility. And here are some risks and things to watch out for. Here are a few things to keep in mind. You will need a down payment. Both veteran and non-veteran's credit score will impact loan approval, and both are responsible for the loan. Entitlement will be charged to the veteran. And remember, this is a serious financial commitment when you're purchasing a home. Make sure both parties are fully aligned on the payment responsibility and home ownership. And why this strategy works for some buyers. Let's say you're a veteran with a moderate income, but your fiance or maybe your best friend or family member has a high income and very strong credit. A joint VA loan might let you qualify for more home by combining income without losing access to the VA benefit. And that's exactly what one of my clients did. We were able to structure their joint VA loan with their partner to qualify for a $450,000 home with just 12.5% down because they shared the financial load together. And steps to apply for a joint VA loan. So number one, check your eligibility and pull your certificate of eligibility, or you can reach out to your loan officer and they can get that for you. Number two, choose a lender who understands joint VA loans. Not all lenders understand this process. And number three, provide full documentation for both parties. And number four, shop for homes that qualify for VA loan approval. And five, understand the down payment expectations before you start shopping. Make sure your loan officer breaks it down for you. Number six, get pre-approved, and then you can start submitting offers. And once you're under contract, the loan proceeds just like any other loan: appraisal, underwriting, and closing. Nothing's going to be different, just the underwriting process and what's required. So joint VA loans aren't talked about enough, but they're a great option when used wisely. And if you're thinking about buying a home with someone who's not your spouse and you're a military veteran, this could be a creative way for you to get into a home a lot faster. And remember, you've earned this benefit. Let's help you use it. Be smart, be prepared, and let's get you home.